Welcome to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you'll hear about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Now, let's join your hosts, Spivvy Williams and Terrible T Guy.
All right, guys, welcome to the next edition of Event Radio. We are at the All Harley Drags, the summer edition. Man, it's a beautiful day. Lots of cool bikes, lots of good-looking girls, everything you want to see at a bike show. We know in the background what you hear is not a hopped-up Harley-Davidson. No, not in the least. What you hear is a blown, supercharged dragster that is a member of the Nostalgia Drag Race League. They also race here during the Harley Drags. And so you get double the pleasure, double the fun when you come to these events. These guys put on the dog. The NDRL are a wonderful organization. They bring it back yesterday and do it in style with the classiest hot rods on the planet. And you get a little taste when you come to the Harley Drags. But make sure you go to an NDRL event wherever you find one. They make several events at Bowling Green. They make of course, they preview a little from the Friels guys at the Harley Drags, but they'll be at Good Guys. They'll be at several of the events that you come to Beach Bend, and you will have a great time at these events. These are fun events, great people. It's just a nice place. And watch some 200-plus mile-an-hour race cars, some 200-mile-an-hour-plus blown, fuel-injected, nitro-guzzling Harley-Davidson motorcycles. You see all the good-looking bikes in the bike show. You can even make it through the Gulch if you can stand the party on Saturday night. They have a big time at this event, and we love coming to it 3 times a year. We're going to have a big time. We're going to introduce you to some folks maybe that you have met in the past and see how they've been doing, and we're going to introduce you to some new folks. So we're going to have a big time. It's going to be a fun event for us, and we hope a very fun event for you to join us. We appreciate, as always, you listening to Event Radio, and we hope we bring you exactly what you want to hear and a show enough exciting show. If you'll just hang on and let's say hi to Holly and a couple of more folks, we'll get with the program. We appreciate you being on Event Radio. We're live at the Harley Drags, and we're having just too much fun. We'll be right back.
Quick Fuel Technology, the innovators in fuel systems, introduces the latest in high-temperature coating technology for select street and performance carburetors. QFT's new Black Diamond series features a unique satin black Teflon coating that provides award-winning good looks and lasting durability. The Black Diamond series is impact-resistant, repels all underhood chemicals, and reduces fuel temperature by 6% for improved performance. The Black Diamond series by Quick Fuel, the ultimate in form and function.
All right, guys, we are back from the Harley Drags. Got me a guest here with shown enough I'm going to say the baddest Harley on the ground, but it ain't quite a Harley. This looks sort of like a Ford Mustang to me. Tell everybody who you are.
This is Gary Grant with GS2 Motorsports out of Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yep, one of my favorite cities. I always liked Owensboro. You know, I grew up almost over there. I wasn't there, but I ran around with everybody over there, and never one time got put in jail. I couldn't believe it.
Well, you wasn't running around enough then.
Well, I ran around with the Sterrett brothers, so if that tells you anything.
You were too close to the river, and the police wouldn't come down there.
They couldn't drink all that water. That's what it was. And I guess they thought they'd take one of them cranes and pick a cop car up or something. You never know.
You could have hidden them anywhere if they'd done that.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, I had a big time over there, and gets to still go over there every year for the induction in the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame. So we do that every year.
We are fortunate to have that on the corner.
Yes, you are.
And it's a great place to be.
Well, and I'm really fortunate because I get to be one of the players this year. What
really?
about that? Yeah, sure do.
Love it.
Sure do. Yeah, I did too. They told me that, and they about knocked me out of this thing. You know, I wasn't quite ready for that.
You more than deserve it.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. You've been racing a long time, huh?
I started racing with Dallas Jones at Windy Hollow Raceway many years ago.
Well, that's been a day or two, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Was that before the brief encounter Plymouth, or was that afterwards?
That was before.
That's okay. All right.
Yeah, we raced around there for a long time, and I run a '65 Mustang called Shade Tree, and that was named that because my dad, Charlie Grant, was called a Shade Tree mechanic.
Well, and evidently he taught you pretty well, because that dude is a hot rod, buddy. I'm telling you.
Well, we sold that car when my son was 3 years old, and when my grandson turned 3 years old, we decided it was time to start building again.
It was time to do it one more time, right? So, I think old racers, that just happens to them. I think that you never get it out of your system, period.
You won't, and people laugh really hard about it sometimes, because when I sold that 65 that we were racing, running with a good friend of mine called Rick Stiers, and when I sold it, I refused to go to the drag strip for about 4 years. I wouldn't even go close to it because I knew if I did, I'd have to get back.
Well, it's almost like being on drugs, and the reason I did what I did with the funny cars, it was like being on drugs and somebody buying it for you. I mean,
that's what I was going to say. The difference is we spend a lot of money doing this.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, I got some dear friends in Owensboro. Army, of course, is a dear buddy of mine. And had some other great friends that are no longer with us. Norman Hall, I know you remember Norman.
Yes.
And a matter of fact, I bought that old funny car from Norman back years ago from him and David Heath.
Really?
And David gave me his best instructional on how to drive that thing. And all he did was scare me to death. That's all.
That was the intention, I think.
Well, I did do it, and I did okay. I drove it for almost a year, and David sold that car, and he called me up one day and said, would you get rid of that old car? And I said, you want it back? He said, oh, no, if I'd wanted it, I'd never sold it to you, But he said, I've got a man that wants to buy it. And I said, yeah, I'll sell it. Well, I think we made $1,000 or something, and I mean, which back then was a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
It was a bunch of cash. And I forgot about it. Oh, gosh, I think it was 2002 or 3 or 4, somewhere in there. I got a phone call from a coal miner over in Hazard, and he had found that car, and he bought it, and they brought it to me to verify that it was original, and it was even down to the tires. I mean, it was just like it was the day we sold it. Well, I forgot about that, and then I got a phone call from that Floyd Garrett's museum down there in Pigeon Forge.
Yeah.
They had it on display down there, and Mopar magazine had come up with a bunch of stuff that it was the rarest drag race find in history because all the rest of those old AFX cars were repops.
Right.
And this one was original. I mean, even down to the air in the tires, I mean, they were dry rotted and that stuff, but it was the ones that were on there, just like it was. So I never thought much more about it. And he called me and said, do you want to buy it? I said, buddy, no offense. I'm like David Heath. If I'd wanted it, I would have never sold it to start with. Well, long story short, this thing was named by Mopar magazine as the rarest drag race find in history. It was sold at Meacham Auto Auction for several $100,000.
And you keep wondering, why didn't I keep that?
Well, I did that more than once. I'm, showed you how smart I am in the car business. But we forget about how much fun we were having back then, and we actually probably, you and I both, were actually making a little drag race history. You think?
I'd like to think we were.
I'd like to think we made a little bit of difference.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing about. We run with a group called the NDRL, Nostalgic Drag Racing League.
Know them well.
Greatest group of people that I've ever been associated with.
Even if you do know Dave Mullen.
Well, you have to give him a little leeway. Anybody from close to Chicago needs a little bit of leeway.
Well, now see, he told me he knew all about the South Side of Chicago, and he could tell me where Al Capone really was, and all that stuff. But,
and where to stay away from.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No,
we love it.
Listen, I have been so fortunate to meet a bunch of you guys, the NDRL people. And they are the best there is, guys. I don't care where they are putting on a show, however far you have to go drive, you go, because these guys will not let you down. They will put you on one heck of a show.
We will be in Norwalk in 2 weeks, and anybody anywhere around, please come see us.
Well,
We'll be
believe it
at
or
the
not,
Blue
this
Suede
thing even
Cruise.
gets into Ohio. It even goes to Ohio. So, but thank you for I disturbed you because you were taking the hood off, and that means there's got to be a little work involved. But is that true?
Well, we're not broke, so we're in good shape. As my wife puts it, when we put it back in the trailer after a race, she said, "Did you break anything?" Nope. Then we had a good weekend.
There you go. We had fun anyway, and it doesn't matter if we do tear up a piece or two.
Well, we've been down that road, and you're right. For
Yeah.
some reason, we just keep rebuilding
Hey,
and going
that's
on.
okay. That's all right. Guys, trust me, this if you were fortunate enough to be in our era and actually grow up what the NDRL represents and actually live back then, I think we had the best time in history to grow up. We had all the cool cars, all the pretty girls, good music.
Well, like what you were talking about on your funny car, I'm the youngest of 4 boys, and if I had every car that me and my brothers owned in pristine condition sitting here, neither one of us would have to work again.
Oh, no, buddy, we could go to the concession stand and stay as long as we wanted, couldn't we?
But we bought cars because we wanted to drive them. We didn't think about what they'd be worth if you didn't drive them.
No, listen, I sold a real AC Cobra for $1,000 profit. Now, if that tells you anything, and I paid $5,500 for it.
Pat Frills and I were just talking about the cars that have been offered to us and what they were asking, and at the time we just walked away shaking our heads. They're crazy. And
all right.
Just a few years later, thought, man, we should have been there.
I bought I didn't buy, but I turned down a white with blue stripes GT 500 Shelby Mustang, $850. So
that $5,500 AC Cobra you're talking about.
Yeah.
In Champion Ford in Owensboro, Kentucky showroom,
Yep.
they had a AC Cobra with a 289 sitting there and had a Mustang sitting right beside it with the same motor in it.
Yep.
And I walked in looking for a car.
Uh-huh.
And the gentleman says, "You can buy that thing for $5,500. And I said, "Why would I ever want to buy that when I can buy this Mustang for $2,100 with the same motor in it?"
Yeah, yeah. Well, nobody ever said we were brilliant, guys.
That's
We're
right.
drag racers, We're not. We're
do
not
this for
Einstein.
fun, not
We're not
for a living.
Einstein. Yeah. Listen, my friend, thank you for taking a few minutes and being on Event Radio. This has been fun, and it always is when I get to go and sort of relive the past a little bit and try to entertain the folks a little bit with our experiences.
That's always a good thing. We love listening to you.
Well, listen, we appreciate you doing it, and both of you. No, I'm just kidding. This thing has actually gotten real big, and we even have a gentleman in Australia that emails us every Monday morning to tell us about his pet crocodile. So, we know we're
Wonder
getting
how
out
fast
there.
they run.
I'd run pretty fast to get away from him. Thank you, my friend, for being on Event Radio. Guys, we are having just too much fun at the Harley Drags. For some reason, I'm having an awful hard time getting out of the NDRL pits and Pat Friel's rolling show here, but I'll make it. It just may take me a while. You're on Event Radio. We'll be right back.
On the track or on the street, the #1 brand in performance is Harley. Have you heard about the Ultra Street Avengers, Ultra Double Pumpers, Ultra HP, and Ultra Dominator carburetors? They're ultra light, ultra cool, and ultra fast. Harley carbs are the most powerful carbs money can buy with no further modifications. Harley, winning performance for over 100 years.
All right, guys, we are back from the Harley Drags Beach Bend Summertime 17. And we come up to one of the vendors that I think has got the coolest thing since pockets on a shirt. They do all of the LED lights under the bikes and stuff, and I'm sure lots of other things. But that just sort of accentuates the positive, I guess you'd say, because there's nothing cooler than seeing those things. And now they got them where they change colors. They do all kinds of cool stuff. What is your name, sir?
Chris Gargis,
Chris, where are you from, buddy?
Florence, Alabama.
Oh, Lord. You don't know a guy named Mike Keenum, do you?
Sure do.
Do you? Joe
Yes, sir.
Keenum?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're dear friends of mine. And you all even have a politician in muscle shows named Neil Willis.
Sure do.
You know Neil?
Yes, sir.
I won't tell anybody. I used to race a funny car, and Neil was a part of the crew of my funny car.
Okay.
And Mike Keenum painted it back years ago, and no better artist on the planet than Mike.
Nope.
So you guys do LED lights everywhere?
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. In other words, if it ain't rolling, you can put it on there, right?
Oh, Oh, it can be on anything.
Okay, all right. You know, I always liked Florence, Tuscumbia, and Muscle Shoals area. That's a nice place down there. You're lucky to come from there.
Yeah.
Is it true all the good-looking women come from there?
It's down south. That's all I can say.
Yeah, well, see, you guys got it going on. You know what sweet tea and country ham is,
Yes.
and a lot of the people from the north ain't got a clue. Do you go to a lot of the bike events?
Yes, sir.
Sir, do I owe you money?
No.
Boy, everybody, you call me sir, that's like an elevator in an outhouse. It sort of don't fit, you know.
It's
but
called respect.
I appreciate it, you know. And one thing, guys, trust me, one thing that's different over all motorsports people, be it bike, be it car, be it vendors, be it whatever, they learn respect from an early age, and that is so important. If in our whole world respect was shown by everybody, there would be no problems.
No, so there wouldn't.
None.
None
You know,
at
everybody
all.
talks about the South being all unruly and all that crap. That's a bunch of stuff,
Sure
I think.
is.
So what's the wildest thing you've ever put LEDs on?
A woman.
Really? You're kidding? Really? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
I don't even want to know where you got the power. I'm afraid to even ask where the power came
I
from.
used a 9-volt battery.
Really?
Yes, sir.
And you really did put it on a girl?
Yes.
Well, that's a whole new world to light my fire, I guess, isn't it? God. All right, let's back up. Vehicle. What's the wildest vehicle you've done?
Probably a Dodge Charger.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Did you do everything? Or
Underneath it, front grill and stuff.
really?
Yes.
That's cool. I know some states scream about the blue lights. I guess it's because of state police. Florida is a little bit bad on those. And
They can't be flashing.
But they can be just blue.
Yes.
Oh, cool. That's
But
good.
up here in Kentucky, they don't want them to face forward.
Oh, okay.
But you can run them as long as they don't face forward.
Okay. Average cost for a bike. Give me a rough idea.
Single color goes for $350.
That's
That's
cheap.
to be a full bike.
That's cheap for you
Then
doing all the work. And everything.
Chameleon, it changes 13 different colors. You can set it on any color for $450. And that's a whole bike.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Buddy, you can't beat that. You can't. You know, guys, trust me, there's very little you can do to your motorcycle that will make it look any better, especially at dusk, you know, and you can walk away from it and leave it there, and you know nobody's going to steal it because everybody's going to be looking at it, you know.
Yeah.
That's cheap insurance, really.
It is.
Well, listen, my friend, if where will you be next? Where are you going to from here?
We'll probably be coming back to Kentucky Sturgis.
Okay, all right. And then?
Probably South Dakota after that.
So you make the big deals, too.
Yes, sir.
I remember when this all got started, and I had a VTX with 2-stage nitrous on it because I'm an old hot rod guy now. I can't help it. I can't have standard stuff. But we put them under that thing, and, man, you talk about a showstopper. It was awesome. I loved it. I don't mind telling you. I had it done in Daytona at Bike Week, and it was just cooler as it could be.
Yeah, we do Daytona and Panama City.
Do you?
Yes, sir.
Which one of them is the most fun?
Panama City.
Is it really?
Yes.
Daytona's just too big.
There's more stuff in Panama City.
Well, and I have a lot of guys tell me that Biketoberfest is actually probably almost better than Bike Week. Is that true?
Probably.
You don't do it?
Yes, we do.
I figured you would. Well, my friend, listen. Thank you for taking a few minutes and being on Event Radio. This little show goes all over the world, so there are people in the areas you're going to that will be listening to you and know you're there. And it's a great, big, huge black trailer. Tell me what it says. What?
It's going to be Light Riders LEDs.
Light Riders LED.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's cool. That's like Knight Rider on that thing where the light went across the front.
Yeah.
See? Hey, cool. Well, listen, my newest found friend from the Muscle Shoals, Tuscumbia, Florence, Alabama area. And trust me, guys, that is a beautiful part of the country. If you get a chance, make sure you go down there and check it out. And look for these guys. I'm sure you could call them, and they'd even put your lights on down there for you. Probably, huh?
We got a shop down there, too.
Yeah, I figured you probably did. Thank you so much for being on Event Radio, my friend.
Thank you.
Hey, we're having just too much fun at the Harley Drags at meeting everybody, greeting everybody, and letting you know what goes on at these events. No matter what event you go to, Event Radio will always try to find the coolest stuff on the planet, and we just found one right here. We'll be right back, guys.
Quick Fuel Technology, the innovators in fuel systems, introduces the latest in high-temperature coating technology for select street and performance carburetors. QFT's new Black Diamond series features a unique satin black Teflon coating that provides award-winning good looks and lasting durability. The Black Diamond series is impact-resistant, repels all underhood chemicals, and reduces fuel temperature by 6% for improved performance. The Black Diamond series by Quick Fuel, the ultimate in form and function.
All right, guys, we are back from the Harley Drag Summer Edition. It's pretty warm out here, and I'm telling you, you're a big dog when you can stop the Rocket Man. You're a big dog, and especially when he's riding with his pretty wife and eating a funnel cake, and he takes the time. You know, Elton John made that song, and I've always loved that song, and finally I get to have the #1 Rocket Man on this show. What's going on, Robbie? How are you?
Out here enjoying the weather.
Mr. Robbie Friels, by the way. I didn't say that, but I
that's
should have.
okay. Thank you.
Have that a little closer, buddy.
Oh,
Pretend like that's her. You've been close enough to her. It shows.
You see what happened to that?
Yeah, that was all right.
How many microphones you want?
No, I don't. Did you have one going yay or what? What did you do?
Ooh and all. Right
Ooh and all. Yeah, well, I don't blame you. She's a pretty girl, so I don't blame you.
She used to be.
What? Listen to you. Hey, I'd see her snuffing you out in your sleep.
Yeah,
That's what I'd say.
She's held a pillow over my head.
Yeah, that's it. Just put the pillow over there. He'll kick a little. Don't pay any attention.
She blames the snoring, but I don't think that's it.
No, that's not it. Buddy, I tell you what, you've grown up in the sport. You've taken to it like a duck to water. Now you're one of the damn superstars.
I don't know about a superstar.
Well, yeah, you are. And in the RL, you really are, because I don't know anybody that doesn't know the Rocket Man. So, yeah, you are one of the superstars.
I'm just somebody.
Well,
another person out there letting go of a button. Another monkey.
Well, let me tell you what. This monkey don't stop no show. Now that's you do a great job in a race car, my friend.
Thank
you really
you very
do.
much.
And it's cool that it's really cool to see a funny car with no body. I like that. I really like that.
Yeah, Hal Canode built that back in '94, and yeah, that's what it's looked like from day one. You know, a canopy car. It's a 150-inch wheelbase, and
that's 25 inches longer than a funny car.
It is.
Yeah,
that's what everybody assumes. That's a funny car with a body or without a body. But
yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, all the funny cars are 1 1/4. So.
That is correct.
See, I'm an old. I knew that. Huh?
Elderly.
Yeah. Oh, boy, you're terrible. God, you are terrible. Yeah, elderly. You got that right. Well, I tell you what, I really like the car. I think that
Thank you very much.
It's cool. It's a showstopper. It's unusual enough that it commands attention. And
it does.
And
you know, years ago when Dad got into nostalgia racing, I was helping him and watching, and I said, you know, I want to go racing with you again like we used to.
Sure.
So, and this car come up for sale, and I said, that's the car I want.
Well, Hal Canode builds a pretty doggone nice race car.
He has built several race cars in his day. And
do you know that he does not work on Saturday morning? Do you know that?
I could believe that.
He watches cartoons.
I could believe that, too. That's what I do.
Sleepy is my buddy. I've known him for years, and he's a huge cartoon nut. He's a cartoon fan. So every Saturday morning, if you've got an appointment at the shop, you got to wait.
You got to wait?
Got to wait till the cartoons are over.
I can see that.
No,
he's
a great guy, and I've known him for years, and he is one fine chassis builder. Now it doesn't get much better.
Yeah, whenever we go out and have a good weekend or make a great pass for us, I'll email him the videos, pictures, and say this and that, and he'll turn around and send it to another large group of email people, and I have no idea who sees it.
Yeah,
but it's just being honored to be talked about by Hal like that. He's a legend in his day too.
Oh yeah. I've had the pleasure of getting beat by him several times. I guess you would say, because back when I did this stuff is when IHRA ran the pro comp stuff, and the dragsters and funny cars ran against each other.
Oh.
They were all one class.
Yeah,
and I felt pretty fortunate that. Well, I get to go in where your dad went in November. I get to be one of the 6.
Well, congratulations.
And that's a pretty big honor.
That is a big honor. Dad was totally surprised, and he's not an emotional person, but he was very emotional and humble that day. It was pretty cool.
I was too. They about knocked me out of my chair when they actually told my daughter and not me. And she called me. She said, "Dad, you got to come over here right now." And so I'm thinking something's wrong, and man, I jumped an old Suburban and I burned it to her house, and all that stuff. And she told me that and about knocked me out of the truck,
That's good.
But it's a huge honor. It also comes with a lot of responsibility because You are voted by your peers for that, and you've evidently done something good for people to notice. So, and it's not my claim to fame of riding a jet ski in a shopping center parking lot. I usually tell people about that.
Yeah.
But
I probably won't get voted on for my getting bucked off on the quarter machine at Walmart either.
Well, if they'd unplug that darn thing, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, that's true. It's out of control.
Elderly. I can't. Now I got you saying it. Elderly. God, what is elderly?
Old, vintage,
vintage.
If you can put I was going to say an antique tag on your butt, but I'd have one too. I'm an antique.
Yeah, you look like an antique.
Well, I got my hat on.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay, we won't talk about that.
Go ahead.
What's your favorite drag race? Can you remember it?
My favorite drag race?
The single run.
It would be the probably my first NDRL race right here in Bowling Green. I was in the car for the final, and the final pair for the 750 was in front of me, and it was I can't remember who the other guy was, but Dad was in one lane and he won. And then I followed up in the final pair of the 7.0 class, and I won. That right
That's a
there,
pretty cool weekend, my friend.
That was pretty awesome. Me and Dad standing there, in the winner's circle together at my first race with the group and his first win with the GTO. So that was pretty amazing to me.
That is an amazing thing, and not a lot of people realize, but drag race people are family, not just your own family, but everybody around you treats you like family.
Yeah.
And it's a cool thing. It's more so than any other kind of sport.
That's true. I've been doing this for 17 years. I started when I was 13. I think it's 17. I can't do math real good, but I'm 35 now, and I started.
Well, we'll work on it. We'll get her to tell us.
She getting her calculator.
Yeah,
out.
She'll get the calculator out and figure it out for us.
But I've done this for a long time. I did it there at the local track at Owensboro, Windy Hollow. It's always been a family deal, and it just continues on as every place we go with different people, and it's always somebody needs a little help, this or that, and. Yeah, I get bored watching, so I jump in and help.
Well, and that's
22 years.
What's really
22
cool?
years, not 17.
Drag racing is the only thing that I am aware of, and it's been this way. Of course, I'm elderly, as Robbie says, but where I don't care what you got in that trailer and what it cost. If somebody needs it, you give it to them because you know darn well they're going to bring it back or take care of it or whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't even question it. And in real life, you got to go through 14 lawyers. You got to go through all this kind of crap to even say yes. And that's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I think I don't like that.
Yeah. Like this weekend, we brought out 8 cars, and one gentleman, he showed up as just him and his wife. Well, with his operation, he needed a little extra hands getting unloaded and stuff. He was a little late getting here, but no big deal. There were 6 of us went over and started helping him get unloaded, get everything ready to warm up, and then we've been over all weekend just helping him get down the racetrack. Not that he wanted to help or needed it, but we felt like that's a
if
good
you can
time
help,
to
you
step up
do.
and help.
And
so
that's cool.
What we've done, and he's been very grateful. Is Mr. Jim Kyle. He is a super awesome dude. He's been doing this for a long time.
Right.
And, he's back in the wheel behind this rear engine dragster going 390s. I've been 433 in the 8th mile. He's going 390s. He's 70 years old. He ain't bad at the eye. He is having a great time.
Whoa. Are you saying elderly ain't too bad?
Elderly ain't too bad.
Okay. All right. Boy, I like him. Thank God. I don't know this guy, but I sure got to meet him. Listen. I won't keep you from that pretty girl and that funnel cake any longer, buddy. But it is my pleasure always to see you. To see you, you are a credit to not only NDRL, you are a credit to drag racing in general.
Well,
no, you really are, because you not only talk the talk and walk the walk, but you are a great ambassador for the sport. And I just couldn't wait to get you on Event Radio and set you down.
And just to set the record straight, I flagged you down. I was eating my waffle. What is that?
That's a funnel cake, buddy.
I was slinging icing everywhere trying to get your attention.
Well, that's all right. I followed it. Actually, I was looking at her. Is what it was. I just sort of saw you in there, but no, I'm just playing. Listen, guys, trust me. not a nicer young man on the grounds than my buddy here, the Rocket Man, Mr. Robbie Friels. And trust me, you want to see a show, you come to any NDRL race, you look for this man, and he will bring you to the fence, I promise you. Great time. Thank you, my friend, for being on Event Radio.
But I will say everything I've learned from the I don't know what the friendliness part of me. I got all that from my dad. I had to give him all.
Oh, he's a great guy.
He don't know a stranger, and I don't either. But I will make fun of you though.
Well, that's all right, buddy. You already have. I'm elderly. I understand. Guys, the one and only, the Rocket Man himself, Mr. Robbie Friels. We are at the Summer Drags Harley Drags Beach Bend Raceway. We're having just too much fun. The fun police are probably on the way, so we're going to have to get out of here. Yeah, there you go. Do not go anywhere. You're on Event Radio. We'll be right back.
On the track or on the street, the #1 brand in performance is Harley. Have you heard about the Ultra Street Avengers, Ultra Double Pumpers, Ultra HP, and Ultra Dominator carburetors? They're ultra light, ultra cool, and ultra fast. Harley carbs are the most powerful carbs money can buy with no further modifications. Harley, winning performance for over 100 years.
All right, guys, we are back from probably my fun or my most favorite Harley event that we go to, the Summer Harley Drags Beach Bend Raceway. And I get to see an old friend and have him on here, and I got to kid him and think, how would you have the gall to do that? I'm only playing. Yeah. Tell everybody who you are.
Jim Gall out of Springfield, Illinois.
Yeah, that's not very far, though. It's just
it's not too far.
Now I got to tell on him. He sort of had a little bad time and went out here fairly early, but now I know what caused it. See, I saw him last night at Brewster's eating all this ice cream, and the bike just couldn't handle the extra weight. Is that what it was?
That's what it was, extra weight. Here's that banana split I had.
Was that what it is? Okay. You been having fun, my friend?
Yes, you got to have fun at these. It's great. It's a great time. We got a great group of people here, and that's what it's all about.
I think it's cool that you do it and you have so much fun doing it too. That's really important. I want you to answer a question for me. I've looked around so much, and I know there are classes involved and a lot of stuff that I don't understand. Okay. But it seems like there is a ton of V-rods here. Why is that?
Well, Harley-Davidson years ago made specifically a drag bike that you can get and buy it right straight from them. And they're a very fast bike, they're a durable bike, and they're
competitive?
They're very competitive, yes.
Are they? Okay. Now, do you have to do a lot to one of them, or is it an out-of-the-box drag racer, or what?
Well, it depends on what class you want,
to
get in.
All right.
And you got to tinker with it here and there. And my buddy right down the road, Rich Vreeland out of Vreeland with Vreeland
I know
Harley
Rich,
Davidson.
sure.
Yes, he tinker toys around with the V-rods, and he's got one rider that rides for him, and he's got that thing tuned up to a whistle. I tell you, it's
of course he's a Harley dealer. I mean,
yes.
That doesn't hurt.
Yeah, no, it
that
doesn't.
sort of has an open door policy too.
Right.
The powers that be, and makes it a little different. I mean, you got to figure everything out on your own.
Oh yeah.
And you do a great job at that too. By the way, I gotta give my buddy his due here. He is a threat at these races, and just sort of wiggled instead of wobbled today, but that happens too.
Yes, it does. I did a major change this year with a whole new clutch system, and a lot of my sponsors that just supported me 100%. I says, I got to know how to ride this thing again. That's a secret.
You would think that would come natural, guys, but it does not. These things are if you'll sit and watch, some of the riders make it look easy, but it is sure not. It's not an easy way to get down through there.
No, it's not. I mean, there's some people that's been struggling here, like myself, but the last race down here, I didn't even qualify. And that's the first time in 40-some years that I ever done that in any racing I did.
Well,
I was upset. So, but
yeah, but that happens. There are some days that the gremlin's out there, and daggone, you just can't shake him.
No,
I don't
you
care
can't.
what you do.
No, you can't.
We ran a funny car race like that. My old funny car was fast. I mean, it did good, and we ran a race down in I don't know, somewhere down close to the coastline or something, and we didn't compensate enough for being at sea level and that stuff. And the dog just wouldn't fall out of a tree, you know. And we changed, and we just didn't have our head screwed on right, and sit there and run some embarrassing numbers, you know.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there going, "What is wrong with you?" You know. And well, it wasn't it was me.
Yes.
And so I guess after about 300 miles in the truck on the way home, I said, "Oh, wait a minute here," you know. But it was day late and $1 short, you know.
Yes,
and that happens.
Last race down here, it wasn't me, but this time it was me.
Well, and that happens. Dude, let me ask you something. When something like this happens, do you brood about it just for a few miles on the road, or do you think about it all the way home? Honestly, now, come on.
You probably brew about it for a week.
Okay, all right, I'll go along
until
with
you try to get it figured out. And usually we solve some problems here as usual, but and there's going to be some more changes on it, and you go from there.
Yeah. Well, it's a good-looking scooter, my friend, and it always is. I love the butterscotch color. I see why you did that, because you go to Brewster's and eat butterscotch sundaes. Is that it?
There you go.
There you go. Listen, my friend, I couldn't get away from the Harley Drags without stopping and saying hi,
well,
and having you on the show again. I really, really enjoy being with you, and trust me, guys, this man has got it going on. Just because today wasn't a day, don't you count him out, because there is a lot more good days to come. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jim, for being on Event Radio again. This is great.
Yeah, thank you, too.
Guys, we're at the Harley Drags. We're having just way too much fun. We're going to let him go back and lay down in the shade, and do what he's got to do. But you're on Event Radio. We'll be right back.
On the track or on the street, the #1 brand in performance is Harley. Have you heard about the Ultra Street Avengers, Ultra Double Pumpers, Ultra HP, and Ultra Dominator carburetors? They're ultra light, ultra cool, and ultra fast. Harley carbs are the most powerful carbs money can buy with no further modifications. Harley, winning performance for over 100 years.
All right, guys, I'm riding through the pits, and I slam the golf cart down on its nose, and I get to see one of my favorite people out here. Miss Jen, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Oh, I tell you what, why does such a pretty girl race a doggone motorcycle? I don't understand it.
You're too sweet. You're too sweet.
No, I'm just real. I mean, Ray Charles can see what I'm talking about. It ain't a big deal.
Oh, you make me laugh.
Huh?
I said you make me laugh.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay, all right. I wasn't meaning to be funny. V-Rod. We were talking about the V-Rod versus the standard Harleys. Mm-hmm. And I know you got a bad one. I mean, yours is a hot rod. There's no question about it. And, of course, you know how to ride it, too. That makes a lot of the difference up. But they are so popular. Why?
For me, mine's a destroyer, so it's a little different than a standard V-Rod.
Okay.
It's a lower center of gravity.
Okay.
She's a beast, and she's really quick, and she's set up for drag racing.
Okay.
So
it's one of the factory drag racers.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I know what that is. I got a V-Rod is the reason. I have a Screaming Eagle V-Rod.
You love it, right?
Well, I like it. I don't know that it loves me, but I like it. But anyway, I don't get to ride it much because we stay busy. But
sure.
I know I got 3 motorcycles, believe it or not. I'm a motorcycle guy.
There you
Ooh,
go.
boy, what about that? And I hate to admit the one that's really my favorite. I have a Triumph Scrambler.
Really?
And I'm just enough hoodlum to Terry and I, of course, my partner he's always doing a motorcycle event somewhere and doesn't get to do this much, but he is a pro speedway rider.
Okay.
And we've got 2 bikes that we go out at midnight and play, and of course mine's a Triumph Scrambler and his is a new Yamaha 7 something. And he's a haint. I mean, he's so much better a rider than me. And I try to keep up, and it's a wonder I hadn't killed myself trying to keep up with him. But we turn on security lights, and we ride on sidewalks, and we do some stuff you shouldn't do. But that's where the Triumph comes in handy, girl.
Nice.
But no, we have a lot of fun for old guys, you know. And I've been kidding on the Robbie Fields and several of the others. They've nicknamed me or given me a hard time. Let's see, what did they call me? Shoot. I'm not old, but I am. What's a word? Elderly.
You're not elderly. Do not believe
Well,
that.
coming out of you, I take that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you,
You're very
because
welcome.
I said, I don't understand the elderly part because I still like motorcycles.
There you go.
I like cool hot rods,
There you go.
and I for sure like good-looking women.
Well, there you go.
So where is elderly? What is that?
I don't think you qualify for that.
Well, buddy, I like you. You are all right. Tell me, you got this sponsorship on the
I sure
bicycles, and those bikes, they're the fat tired bikes, guys, and I'm going to take some pictures of it, and instead of putting this pretty girl's picture back there, we're going to give the bicycle people a little hit for being a sponsor and for helping her out, and guys, trust me, I don't know you, but this little show goes all over the world, and you're getting a plug that you can't afford to pay for,
That is
and
fantastic.
it's all because of this little lady here. But you really do have some cool bicycles.
Yeah, they're pretty fantastic. So Elux Electric Bikes is our new sponsor. They're our title sponsor.
Okay.
They actually own our Destroyer that we're riding, so we're piloting their bike for them.
Okay.
They have a couple of shops. They're based out of California. Superb company. The two bikes that we showcase is the Tahoe and the Newport. They have step-throughs and they have step-overs. They're electric, and they'll ride for like a good, 20 to 40 miles.
That's
on
my
a single
kind of
charge.
exercise bike.
I know, right?
Yeah,
It's a standard bike, but it's an electric power. So if you choose not to pedal, you hit the little throttle and it'll take you.
Oh, I got to look at one of these.
They're fantastic.
I've got to look at one of these.
Yeah.
I bought me of course, I'm a nostalgia guy. I like old stuff, and I bought from Moon Equipment Company a Moon beach bike. It's got a 1/4 mile on it. That's it. It's hanging on the garage wall, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
But I got bad knees and stuff, Jen. It just didn't. But that might be me.
Yeah,
I like
they're
that.
fantastic. They're comfortable too. So when we get finished, you're gonna have to take one for a spin.
Oh, I don't know. I might get hurt out here.
I don't think so.
Probably not. So they sell them all everywhere, huh?
They do. They're based electric bikes. They're based out of California. You can look them up online. They'll ship them to you. They'll ship them to anywhere in the world.
Really?
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Or you can come to the Harley drags, guys, and this little lady will let you ride one of
I
them
sure will.
and
That's
check
right.
them out because they're her sponsor, and we want to make sure that they get all of the recognition in the world.
That's right.
Guys, trust me, you could have sponsored any one of these 500 or 600 bikes out here, but you sure enough picked the right one, is all I can tell you. Because
thank you for
us
that.
being the media, you see where we came. And so your bike just sort of got the benefit from that because we love this little lady. She is one bad boy motorcycle racer. She's a sweet gal. Pretty girl, too, on top of that. But, of course, that sort of gets my attention, but I can't help it. But anyway, we have a lot of fun, and you're a great guest, and I appreciate you always being on our show.
Thank you. I appreciate the time. Thanks.
Hey, it's always fun. Guys, what do you call the bike again?
Elux Electric Bikes.
Elux Electric Bike. And how do they find it?
They find it online. You can Google Elux Electric Bikes, Elux Electric Bikes.
Or I bet if they looked up
Facebook.
electric bicycles, they could find it, huh?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. You can visit Fat Bottom Racing on Facebook, and we have a link directly to their site.
Hey, I tell you what, guys, go on there and you can see all about this gal's race career, and you can get the plus of a bicycle, too. There you go.
Fantastic.
We're having just too much fun, guys, at the Harley Drags. We're just getting out of here and just picking the best of the best like we always do. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Quick Fuel Technology, the innovators in fuel systems, introduces the latest in high-temperature coating technology for select street and performance carburetors. QFT's new Black Diamond series features a unique satin black Teflon coating that provides award-winning good looks and lasting durability. The Black Diamond series is impact-resistant, repels all underhood chemicals, and reduces fuel temperature by 6% for improved performance. The Black Diamond series by Quick Fuel, the ultimate in form and function.
All right, guys, we are back from the Harley Drags, and we come up on a trailer that and a gentleman that is near and dear to my heart, if for no other reason for one decal that's on the trailer. It's Shriners Hospitals for Children, Charlotte, North Carolina, and I've got a special guest with me. Tell everybody who you are, sir.
Randall Andrews from Louisiana, Morgan City, Louisiana, and we've been coming the party drags here at Beach Bend for last 17 years. All our kids came up at this place. So it's kind of special place. It's got a lot of nostalgic look and shape to it. It's got a beautiful setting on the Barron River. If I'd had to have a place to come and race and really enjoy the company and the fans and the people from Kentucky, this is the place.
Well, we appreciate the kind words because we appreciate you coming every time. I had a lady on here from New Orleans. Now, she lectured me, you can't say New Orleans. You got to say New Orleans. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's a lot of them over there. Where you from, New Orleans?
Yeah, there you go. Well, she's in a police department, so I figured I better do what the hell she said, you know. I didn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Have you always rode drag bikes?
You know, I started off with a simple street bike. A friend of mine built us a kind of fast street bike. And every time we tear the motor up, we'd look to go a little bit faster. And when I smelt nitro in Gulfport, Mississippi, I said, man, what is that? I got to get some of that.
Yeah, it's like being on drugs, isn't it?
Oh, it's worse.
you ever get to the shop and just fire it up with nobody around so you can get a little taste there? Or?
Yeah. We'll go smell it, sniff it, and keep some remnants of it. You know, this old raggedy thing we bought, there was very few people would let us race it, but we had a big time with it, and we knew we had to get something up to speed, you know.
Well, and you got way up to speed in a hurry. You know, you've been doing this for quite a while. And has it ever scared you?
Scared the daylights out of me a few times.
Well, that's what I meant. You know, I drove an old funny car for a long time, and a guy said, "Did it ever scare you?" I said, "Well, if you call peeing in your pants scared, yeah, I guess you're right, it did." You know, but I can't imagine trying to. When the things launch, you're on the back tire and the wheelie bars, correct?
That's correct, on a good pass.
On a good pass, and the front end doesn't normally touch the ground till just a few feet short of the traps.
Absolutely. A good pass sometimes, and we had them, they will hold the wheel up until you turn out the throttle. You know, a 20, a high 20, a mid 20, it will carry the tire till you turn off the throttle.
Whew, that's scary to me for some reason. And you're steering that thing with the weight of your body. As far as English, that's how you're actually driving it, if you will.
Absolutely. You kind of point it in the right direction and coach it through that. Now, I came off on this track in 2016 at the end. The front end broke off.
Broke off?
Yeah, and I came off at 198 miles an hour on the other bike there. So, you know, in the year before that, it caught fire right here at the end, you know, and we won both races, but nevertheless, it was.
Buddy, you give a thrill a minute to a whole new experience, a whole new word there.
Well, it's been a challenge this weekend. It was our first time back on that bike, and back having the big bikes. They've been tuning them to get them right. And yesterday, I did a really shoddy job for a great team, you know, and it was really depressing to have two bikes that will run like a bat out of hell and have a dummy between the seat and the handlebars, you know?
Well, I doubt that, my friend. I doubt that. You know, I talked to Jim Gall, and everybody has a bad day. I don't care who you are, and I don't care how good you are. But you show the determination of the word racer. You're right back after it, my friend.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And we did run a 680 at 200 miles on one that we burned down and crashed last year. She's good. She is plenty good enough to win the race, and I want to redeem myself bad. I want this really bad.
Well, my friend, nobody wants you to have it any worse than we do. You know, we appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to be on this show. We usually pick out the best, you know, and of course with Tim being here, it didn't hurt anything. We're the only people in Bowling Green that remotely like him. You believe that?
Possible.
Okay. No, I'm just playing.
I like him a lot myself.
No, he's
done wonderful.
He's a good guy, and
Absolutely.
he's pretty doggone sharp
on
you know, what's old saying? A blind hog finds an acorn every once in a while.
Absolutely.
And we're talking about my buddy, Mr. Tim Russell, and we're giving him a hard time, but he is a brilliant mind when it comes to a motor. He knows his stuff, and he knows what to do to it, and you got some good help there, my friend.
You know, that's what made Tim one of the special guys out here. We've broke up some stuff. We have tore up stuff that we knew we wasn't able to get fixed without help from somebody like Tim Russell. I mean, we've tore some stuff up that would have been a complete challenge trying to get back. Without Tim, we couldn't have made it. That's what made Kentucky, Bowling Green, this place, this setting, such an awesome place to be.
Well, we sort of like old Southern boys anyway. You know, Southern guys. That's my idea. I don't go much farther north than Smiths Grove, Kentucky, and that's 9 miles up the road. So I just sort of stay away from that. I'm a Southern guy, and I like people that know what sweet tea and country ham is, you know.
What a setting like this, I could totally understand. You know, you guys got one of the beautifulest tracks in the country. We was down at Bristol last weekend, and I think my hat's off for it being one of the prettiest tracks in the country.
The sound at Bristol is what's so cool.
God.
You're in between, in the valley in between the two mountains,
Absolutely.
and a fuel bike or a fuel anything rocks the house.
Yeah, 10,000 horsepower, 2 of them barreling down there. It's phenomenal. It's a sound you'll never forget in your lifetime. You know?
That's right.
Then between the 2 tracks, the oval track and the
drag strip,
strip, you got a little river going down through there where you see the little fish swimming. It's cool as could be.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, you got a river here.
Absolutely. We love it on the Barron River. We've been swimming in there, too, a bunch of
Now,
times.
let me tell you what happened. Back years ago, I'm going to give you a little history of Bowling Green. Back years ago, Mr. Garvin owned this place. Charlie Garvin. He built it. Well, he had a zoo. And people kept swimming across the river. He charged a dime to get in. That was it. There was a book out called Dynasty of Dimes, if you ever get a chance to read that book. But people were swimming across the river to get in the park, and he wasn't getting his dime. So he let word out that his alligators got loose, you know. And of course, if you being from Louisiana, that is nothing to y'all, you know. That's right. That's a bad dog on a leash, you know. But he let the word out that there was alligators in that river, and boy, all them people quit swimming across there and everything.
Well, let me tell you what. Last night, I went to a place just, I guess would be a little bit east of here. I thought it still was the zoo.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
In the campground over there.
Oh, listen, we sort of stay away from that. that you know, I'm like the old country guy. He said
that's where the zoo was?
Yeah, no.
I thought he was still there.
Well, this old country fella, when he went down through there, and I was talking to him, he said, you know, he said, I've been to 2 county fairs and a good-sized service station. I've never seen nothing like that before.
That's right.
Well, it's quite a happening if you go to what I call the Gulch.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I believe we better stay out of there.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think so? Drag racing on a top fuel Harley is got to be safer than a night in the Gulch.
Yeah, back in the day, I'd do a little bit of both. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
That's all right. That's okay.
It's been more than a pleasure.
Listen, it's been our pleasure to have you on Event Radio and to watch you do your craft because you do it so well. And we hope you just spank them like a stepchild and just get out there and win the whole deal.
To be honest, you know, I need to redeem myself to get back on track today. I got to do it.
Hey, we're all for you, and we got about, 150,000 people that are going to try to help you, too. You're listening onto this thing. What do you think about that?
I think it's awesome, man, and I appreciate it.
Any sponsors we need to tell about? We told about the Shriners Hospitals, and guys, trust me, every time you can support that, please do. Anything that the Shriners or the Masons have anything to do with, please do that, because there is no better organization on the planet than those guys.
Absolutely. We believe in the Shriners, and our deal, we help them every year. Some year more than others, but we do what we possibly can, and it's been a blessing for us to have the opportunity to deal with these guys.
Well, they're good people, and
they're the best.
You can for sure believe what they tell you. Any other sponsors we need to say hi to right quick?
Yeah, we got K&K Marine, Prime Coatings, and J. Turner Racing.
There you go. Can't beat that, guys. You have found the right guy to support, guys, because he not only talks the talk, he walks the walk and can back up everything that he says. And trust me, you see where the media stopped to see him, and that's us. So whatever you're giving him, it ain't enough. Give him some more of it. That's all I can say.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate the people of Kentucky.
Hey, buddy, we appreciate you coming to Kentucky. You're on Event Radio, guys. We're at the Harley Drags Beach Bend Raceway, 2017 summertime, having a blast. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, guys, what a cool show, huh? Coming from the Harley Drags Summer Edition 2017 Beach Bend Raceway. Boy, I tell you what, we get to meet some really cool people. We get to introduce you to some that we have met before. We get to talk to some of the racers that we've talked to before. And how about my buddy the Rocket Man himself, Mr. Robbie Friels. What a cool young man he is. We've had a big time at the Harley Drags, and we appreciate you joining us and coming out to these events. These are really cool. They're fun. Every event at Beach Bend is just absolutely awesome. It's a great way to spend the day. Plus, you can go up in the park and and everybody in the family have fun, ride the roller coasters and see the shows, watch Dinky Gown, the magician, and you can see all kinds of great things at Beach Bend. As always, we never close our show without thanking our sponsors. We appreciate them more than you know. The great people at Beach Bend Raceway, Beach Bend Park, and Beach Bend Splash Lagoon. The absolute most fun way to spend an afternoon. And now with Friday night lights, you can come out and see it all in living color. It is really, really cool. The great guys at Harley Performance. I don't care what kind of part you need for your hot rod. Makes no difference whether it's MSD ignitions or hooker headers or what you need. Just call the guys at harley.com, and they can take care of every ill you may have. And the cool part is they're very knowledgeable. If you have something you have a question about, talk to their tech people. They'll take care of whatever problem you may have and make it right the first time. The great guys at Quick Fuel Technologies, no matter what you race, what kind of a race car you have, if it has a carburetor, the guys at Quick Fuel can make it go quicker. There is no doubt about it. Quick Fuel Technologies, a long-time sponsor with us, and we appreciate them more than they know. Last but not least, my good buddy Jimmy B at GearheadGazette.com. Go on there for everything, who, what, when, and where of all the fun events that go on in our whole area. They're all covered by Gearhead Gazette. Make sure you take a few minutes, look at their newsletter that comes out on the computer, sign up for it. They have about 45,000 people that watch it every week, so you need to join up and have some fun. We look at every event we go to on GearheadGazette.com, and we have a blast. As always, we appreciate you listening to Event Radio more than you know. It enables us to get out and go and do and bring you these shows. If you have enjoyed what you have heard, please tell a friend. But if you have not, daggone it, you keep that to yourself. Thank you for joining us, and we will talk again.
You've been listening to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you heard about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Join us next time with your hosts, Spivey Williams and Terrible T Guy.